On today's Primetime Local News, as we head into the Father's Day weekend, there's no shortage of events. We have a look at all the excitement. And Lloydminster receives 2 grants going towards community safety and well-being.
The city administration looking at options to where we feel that money could be best suited and put to use.
Plus, the B. Fisher New Year's Eve Gala is back with a new theme.
Prime Time Local News, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Jace Mackey. Lloydminster City Council was awarded 2 grants to go towards community safety and well-being during the last meeting. The one grant from the government of Canada was for $931,000, and the other grant was worth $43,000 from the government of Saskatchewan.
The city administration looking at options to where we feel that money could be best suited and put to use. I just want to remind people we were informed as council through the GPC that that money is not eligible for actual policing costs. So there's certainly a lot of options and a lot of available avenues that we can pursue, and we'll look forward to seeing where we can make enhancements in the community.
The main intention of both grants is to ensure people feel safe within the community.
Hopefully they'll feel safer in their community. They'll see actions taken. Prevention in many cases is worth a lot more than dealing with the ramifications of not dealing with the prevention.
More information will be coming in the next couple of months as to where the grant funding is going towards. 2023 may feel like it's a long ways away, but B. Fisher are wasting no time preparing for their 2023 New Year's Eve Gala. New Orleans is the theme for this year's event, and after having to cancel their gala and facing some struggles over the past 2 years, organizers are excited to finally host a New Year's event again.
The ones that we want to take care of next is we've got 4 kitchens we'd like to remodel, just so they better suit the individuals that live there. Those are big ticket items, and we're going to need a few dollars to put those ones together, so that's why we need a big fundraiser like this.
Proceeds from the gala will be going towards funding improvements and upgrades at B. Fisher's 24-hour care homes, supporting those with developmental disabilities. B. Fisher is essential for some families by helping children like Avery Tremble, who struggles with social skills and needing help with exposure to the community.
For this community, having facilities that B. Fisher offers, it gives families the next step. So what do we do now, right? They maybe have gone through the school system. If they stay home, they may not develop emotionally, socially, all of those things. So what is the next step? It's a natural transition to a safe area with your peers. And I think that's also very key.
Ticket sale dates will be announced early in the fall. Well, the border city is filled to the rim with events for this Father's Day weekend, and one of the main attractions that started today is Rib Fest. For the first couple of events, a drive-through was the method for giving people their delicious ribs, but now things will be different this year. Our Shelby Clark has that story.
That's right, step right up, get your ribs here! Get your ribs here at Billy's Barbecue, best in the West, I promise!
With going to the Lloyd X grounds for Father's Day weekend, the aroma is strong, filled with barbecue chicken and ribs. With COVID restrictions beginning to ease, RibFest 2022 will be in full swing with live entertainment and more.
So, you can come down here, you've got all 4 different kinds of rib trucks. Different this year than what we were used to seeing is you've got the fry truck and the bloomin' onion truck, also deep fried Oreos for dessert, pretty much everything you can want. Plus a free cabaret both nights with live local bands playing all weekend, starting at noon on Saturday and starting at 3:45 on Fridays. So you're going to be able to see everybody cooking. Some of these guys are real showmen when you see them cooking, so something for everybody, family friendly, should be a great weekend.
RibFest is a major fundraiser for the Border City Connects, and now with higher gas prices, proceeds from this event will help them now more than ever. Seeing the strong support from residents with all these events is making a big impact on the community. The staff with the rib trucks are excited to kick off Father's Day weekend.
It's been great, actually. I got a solid crew with me this year. I got a few guys that came back with me, so that's very helpful to have those extra. They've been here a few years as well, so to have those veterans to back me up is very helpful. I can worry about the manager or operator side, and they can kind of help me with dealing with the meat and everything.
The city hopes to make Lloydminster the Father's Day weekend destination for others from surrounding areas. With the Show and Shine Car Show, the RCMP musical ride next door, to the Lloyd Carnival, they hope families will come check out all the excitement for the weekend.
I'm excited for the RCMP musical ride. I've never seen something like that before, so I think that might actually bring in a decent crowd.
Shelby Clark, Primetime Local News.
Well, there's more going on this Father's Day weekend beyond what's taking place at the Lloyd X grounds, as a fair kicked off at the Lloyd Mall yesterday and continues through Sunday. The carnival has taken over the mall's parking lot. It runs from noon to 11 today and Saturday, and then noon until 5 on Sunday. Carnival was planned to take place at the mall last year, but flooding forced the event's cancellation. Residents are happy to have this family-friendly event back in the city.
So how's this fair for kids?
My daughter is just over 2 years old, so she was born 2 months before COVID, so it's nice to finally be out and enjoy the sunshine. And we have visitors from Ontario here to enjoy too. It's their first trip since COVID.
Border Paws Animal Shelter are taking part as well, showcasing some of their animals and offering puppy kisses for a donation. Single ride tickets are $1, while you can get a ride all day pass for $40. And don't forget to pick up some mini donuts. Welcome back. As we heard yesterday, Health Canada are proposing a new mandatory label for ground beef and pork at the supermarket. With more, here's Thomas Wildman.
Today we have Doug Roxburgh, a delegate for the Alberta Beef Producers as well as the Canadian Cattlemen's Association, and he's here today to talk to us about the new labeling procedures that might be being put in place for Canadian beef in supermarkets. And so thank you so much for being with us today, Doug.
No, thanks for having me. Greatly appreciated.
And so, Doug, tell us exactly what Health Canada is trying to put in place for beef products in the supermarket.
Essentially, Health Canada is trying to put regulations in place that would require ground beef to carry a front of packaging warning label, essentially labeling it as high in saturated fats. The challenge, I guess, that we have with this labeling is that other single sourced ingredients like unsweetened fruit that would be naturally occurring high in sugar, we're given an exemption to this process. Same with other dairy and egg products, single source egg products that were also given an exemption through this regulation as well.
And what would be the major problems if this was to go through and this label was required on beef? How would that affect the market for beef cattle?
So essentially in Canada here today, approximately 50% of the beef consumed is in ground form. By placing this warning label on ground beef, you're giving the notion to consumers that ground beef is unhealthy, when unfortunately they need to understand that ground beef is a very nutrient dense, wholesome product that is rich in protein, high in vitamin B12, iron, and zinc. So in our today's economy where food inflation has become such a thing, ground beef only isn't nutritious, but at the same time, it's also still relatively affordable for consumers in the marketplace when they're making their meal planning choices for the week. Now, when we take that back and we understand that, approximately 50% of ground beef consumed or beef consumed in this country is in the ground form, if consumers start to view it negatively, it can start to have a very negative impact on the supply of cattle coming into the marketplace. Where's a lot of that beef going to go? So if we start to see demand start to shrink, that can certainly have a very negative impact on the producers.
Stations like the Alberta Beef Producers and Canadian Cattlemen's, kind of what are they going to do in order to try and stop Health Canada from putting this forward?
I think originally a lot of the discussion through CCA and Alberta Beef was very direct to Health Canada, was very direct to our federal ag ministers on the agriculture side to try to really communicate our concerns with them. It seems like that maybe wasn't exactly getting things done. So organizations like CCA and Alberta Beef have started to team up with our provincial ministers of health and agriculture and start to communicate and get the word out to our public of what's happening. Just recently, we launched a website, don'tlabelmybeef.ca, and we encourage consumers and producers to go on there and fill out the form and send that off. It goes directly to our ministers on the federal side to start to voice our concerns and allow them to know what Canadians are thinking.
Thank you so much for all the information today, Doug, and we hope for the best for all Canadian beef producers.
Thank you very much for your time.
Now let's take a look at your agriculture prices for today.
Well, the Cold Lake Air Show is coming up again here next month, fairly quickly. This is coming up, and I want to talk today about what's happening with the show, all the ins and outs. And to do that, the chair of the air show is with us today, Major Rennie. Thank you so much for speaking with us.
Thanks for having me. Yes, 1 month to go to the Cold Lake Air Show, and boy, are we excited. And the activity is fast and furious, getting the preparations ready for it.
Well, let's talk about the performing acts, because we have a couple of different categories here. We've got the performers, there's the static displays. So let's go with the performers first. Who do we have performing at the show this year?
Yeah, for sure. So we are super excited to have back in 2022 the United States Air Force F-22 Raptor demonstration team. For those that saw them here in 2018, the F-22 Raptor is the most advanced fighter aircraft in the world. It puts on just an amazing demonstration, and they had so much fun in Cold Lake and in the Lakeland region in 2018. They actually asked to come back. So most people may not realize this, but there's only 2 shows in all of Canada that will feature the F-22, and it's us and London, Ontario. So we're super excited to have them back. And if you have never seen the F-22 fly, you got to come to the Cold Lake Air Show to see it.
And the snowbirds this year as well?
For sure. So that's one of our American acts, the Raptor, but we of course have our traditional RCAF snowbirds, the iconic red and white paint scheme. They normally close our show on Saturday and Sunday. We get lots of questions on that actually. Is the show the same on Saturday and the same on Sunday? And my answer is yes, it's planned to be the same. The only thing that can impact the Saturday and Sunday shows is usually the weather. So if the weather's bad on one day, it may modify the show, but otherwise it's planned to be the same.
And I'm guessing that the CF-18 demo jet will be there as well?
For sure. We got the CF-18 demo coming back. Other military performers will have some of our 410 squadron CF-18s flying as well. We're looking to put up an air-to-air refueling demonstration, and then I'm sure they're going to beat up the pattern pretty loud for everybody as well.
And what about civilian performers? Those are always entertaining as well. Some of these guys that push the planes to the limit and, you know, make it look like the plane's falling out of the sky when it's just stunts. So what do we have as far as that goes for civilian performers?
Yeah, for sure. We like to offer the audience a good mix of military and civilian acts. So this year we've got 2 civilian performers lined up. One is Kyle Fowler, and he flies a Long Easy aircraft. And I've seen it before here flying around Cold Lake, and if I could describe it, it's like a yellow Lamborghini of the sky. It's a very unique looking aircraft. It's bright yellow, puts on a very graceful performance, and it kind of contrasts nicely with the loud and aggressive fighter aircraft. And then we're especially excited to bring back Gord Price. So Gord Price actually flew as a captain in the RCAF back in Cold Lake in the 1970s. And he is currently he owns a brew pub out in Ontario, but he's been flying on the airshow circuit for almost I think 40 years now. But this is he's billing it as his retirement farewell tour, and he wants to come back to Cold Lake one last time to see his old stomping grounds. So we're super excited to have Gord and to see him perform.
Well, one of the nice things about this show is that you can get up close and personal to a lot of aircraft that normally you wouldn't be able to see or even touch. And in some places, you can even sit in the airplanes that are on the static display. So what do you have planned so far for the static display for people to check out on the runway?
Yeah, absolutely. The excitement isn't just limited to up in the sky. In fact, looking at our ground map just this morning, we have a really robust set of aircraft that people, like you said, will be able to get up close and personal, get on the planes. So the United States Air Force is helping us out. They're sending some of their big, heavy aircraft. So the C-5 Galaxy, it's a giant transport plane. They're sending that up. They're sending a KC-135 tanking aircraft that carries basically a flying gas station, if you will. They're setting up an AWACS aircraft. It's a very unique looking aircraft that has a radar dish on top of the plane. It's used for controlling the big battles and the airspace and stuff. So yeah, there's big planes to look at. There's we have general aviation static that are coming. I think our last count was over 25 private aircraft that people from around Alberta and Saskatchewan are going to fly in, and they're going to be able to show theirs as well. And new this year as well as we have Jurassic Attack. So we're pretty excited about this. It's a big monster truck that looks like a purple dinosaur. And you can basically pay a fee and you get a ride. You get strapped in the back of the monster truck, and he'll take you through on a little course and stuff. So that's exciting too.
Logistics with this air show, I know it's amazing to try and have to plan all this stuff out. So what should the general public know when they are coming to the show either Saturday and Sunday, as far as parking, what they can bring in? I know there'll be vendors available for food and for water and that sort of thing. But if you're coming for the general admission to the show, what are some do's and don'ts?
Yeah, for sure. So a lot of the stuff we've put on our website, coldlakeairshow.com, of what you can and what you can't bring. Over the last, I think, 4 iterations now of the air show, we've worked out a pretty robust traffic and parking plan, as that's a major source of contention for some people. So the last few shows, we've had almost a 5-minute, maybe. You don't even really realize a massive event is going on. So great parking plan in place. Normally, if you're in a general admission area, you can expect to be sitting on the grass. So you got to kind of dress for, how hot it is. But there is food vendors available for all of that. And we will have one of the hangars open that'll have a children's play area with bouncy castles and a classic car show. So if it's smoking hot, you can go in the hangar and get out of the sun. And if it's raining, then you can try to find some shelter from that as well.
And can people bring in their own lawn chairs to this event if they would like to sit and watch from a certain area on the ground?
They can, yes. Check the website for all of that, but you can bring some personal items into the air show and make your life a little more comfortable.
All right. Well, thank you for speaking with us today. This sounds like it's going to be an exciting event. So once again, if you can just go over the dates and the website so people can dig for more information if they like.
Yeah, all the information you can find on our website, coldlakeairshow.com. And it's over the Saturday and Sundays, the air performances, 16, 17 July. But I'd be remiss if I didn't pass on that the City of Cold Lake is putting on the Full Throttle Street Festival on the Friday, the 15th. So that's a free street party starting in the afternoon on the Friday, and then it runs into the evening with a concert. And Econoline Crush is the headliner, and it's free to the public. And you'll be able to interact with some of the performers and air crew that'll be walking around in their flight suits, and you can talk to them and get autographs. And we may have a special appearance by somebody who just has made an important movie called Top Gun, making his way here. So more to follow on that.
Excellent. Well, that sounds exciting, and we will wait to hear more on that announcement too. And again, coldlakeairshow.com is the place to go. Thank you for taking the time to chat with me today, and we look forward to the event here in just over a month.
Yes, thank you. See you in July.
Take a break from cooking this weekend and enjoy delicious ribs. Border City Connects Rib Fest is back, and you've got a chance to visit all 4 delicious rib trucks if you want to challenge yourself to try all 4. Maybe you're going to get ribs, maybe you're going to get brisket, but you're going to get delicious food and a really fun day out because they've got local live entertainment this year, a kid zone, and Friday night and Saturday night there's going to be a cabaret as well. Check out Border City Connects Rib Fest today and tomorrow from 11 until 9 and Sunday 11 to 7 out at the Lloyd X Grounds. Tomorrow, Just Cruisin's annual show and shine returns to the Service Sports Center. The parking lot will be full of different classic cars. There might be a few classic trucks. You never know who's going to show up to showcase their classic vehicle. It's an opportunity to take a stroll down memory lane and hear some great stories about some great vehicles. And this is a great family event. They have the Matchbox toy races. They've got the make and take section for the kids. There's going to be a charity barbecue and so much more. more. So you can check it out with your entire family coming up tomorrow. It's Just Cruisin's annual show and shine. The world-famous RCMP musical ride is in Lloydminster this weekend. You've got a chance to check out a fantastic show with intricate figures and cavalry drills choreographed to music. Plus, the Rhinestone Rebels trick riding team, they're going to open up the shows. You can see the RCMP musical ride tomorrow at 2 or 7 or Sunday at 2 out at the Lloyd X grounds. And if you don't have your ticket yet, tickets will be available at the door. Well, whatever you choose to do this weekend, we hope you stay safe and stay healthy.
What's Happening is brought to you by Northern Factory Workwear, Circle Drive East, Saskatoon, and Highway 17 South, Lloydminster.
Furniture set and design supplied by Furniture Gallery and Furniture House, downtown Lloydminster.
Well, for the first time since 2019, the Memorial Cup is back and up and running, and it's going to be taking place in St. John's, Newfoundland, as we do a Memorial Cup review. I am Adil Ahmed. I have Thomas Wildman alongside with me, and we're going to do a little preview into the tournament as it starts on June 20th. So we got 4 teams in the tournament, Thomas. We got the Edmonton Oil Kings from the Western Hockey League, we got the Hamilton Bulldogs, and then we also got 2 teams representing the Quebec Major Junior League, which is the Shawinigan Cataracts and the host itself, St. John Sea Dogs. So we're going to start with the Oil Kings. Thomas, what are you liking from the Oil Kings? What do you expect out of them in this tournament? They got a lot of star forwards, power forwards in there. A lot of leaders. What are you expecting out of the Oil Kings?
Yeah, for sure. That pedigree, certainly they have the players that are highly touted prospects. Lots of these players were on the World Juniors team this past January. Unfortunately, that we didn't get to see them there. But this is another great chance for these players to show off. You know, we got Dylan Gunther. He was drafted by the Arizona Coyotes, number 9 last year. We've also got Jake Neighbors, who was a 2020 product. He's going to play for the St. Louis Blues one day. We've also got Caden Gooley, who was a trade, an acquisition the Oil Kings made. He's a really great defenseman. We've also, and Sebastian Cossa, the big man in net. He is a massive, massive goalie, and he plays an insanely good game, a .919 save percentage. He's going to Detroit. He went to Detroit on the draft pick at 15. Unfortunately, the Oilers weren't able to come and grab him. That was a bad day for us. But this team has a really great defensive scheme, but also has a lot of great players that can put the puck in the net. 26 points for Gunther in the playoff round. So just a really strong team with a lot of great players. They've also got some veteran players that haven't been drafted, but have been continue to play well for the Oil Kings. They might have a great career maybe down the line going into university hockey or college.
Of course. Well, of course, the Oil Kings are running after winning the WHL championship against the Seattle Thunderbirds just last week. So let's switch over to the OHL now. We got the Hamilton Bulldogs that's representing that league. They were running hot in their playoffs there in the OHL. Obviously, they just finished as of pretty recent here in 7 games. What are you liking how do you like their chances going into this tournament as well as they face off against the other 3 teams that are in that tournament?
Well, yeah, for sure. The Bulldogs were hot coming into the playoffs. They were ranked very high often on the CHL power rankings. And on top of that, going into the playoffs, until the OHL finals, they swept every team they came up against in their conference play. So excellent play from the Bulldogs. They don't have as many highly touted prospects. Of course, they do have the highest rated prospect in terms of his draft order. With Mason McTavish, he went to the Anaheim Ducks 3rd overall in 2021, and he played exceptionally well. Logan Morrison, though he hasn't been drafted yet, had 39 points in the games that the Bulldogs played in the playoffs. So an exceptional team. The Bulldogs can put that puck in the net. They've got a lot of great skilled players. They've also got Jack Arbor. He had 16 points as a defenseman. He's a Montreal free agent that they signed in 2021. So a really great team, and they've shown that they can play well in the playoffs, and they're looking very strong going into the Memorial Cup.
All right, now let's go over to the 2 other teams that are representing the Quebec Major Junior League. We got the hosts, obviously the St. John Sea Dogs. They got knocked out of the first round in that playoffs, but we got the champions of the Quebec Junior League, the Shawinigan Cataracts. Just from those 2 teams alone, just how do you like their chances as well facing off against the other 2 teams that they're going to be facing in this tournament?
Well, Shawinigan certainly has a little bit more you would like to they certainly look a little bit better than the St. John Sea Dogs, obviously being the champions. They've got Maverick Bork, who got 25 points, led the Shawinigan Cataracts in their playoff run. There's also not William Dufour, that's the player for the St. John Sea Dogs. Xavier Bourgault, who Oilers fans will know as he was their draft pick last year at 22nd overall. He had 12 goals in the playoff round, so he looked excellent so far. He did really well. And then, of course, the Sea Dogs, they got eliminated, but they got a really great player in William Dufour. He got 116 points in the regular season, and he's going to the New York Islanders. He went 116th overall. But, you just got to it's going to be interesting to see how these two teams look. I think the Quebec Major Junior League was just a little bit weaker than the OHL and the WHL this year.
Certainly. Well, it's going to be an exciting time with those 4 teams in that tournament. We're running a little bit short on time, but quickly before we go, Thomas, your pick for the Memorial Cup. Who is winning it this year?
Well, I'm going to say that I think the Hamilton Bulldogs will end up meeting the Edmonton Oil Kings. I just think the Bulldogs, though, they seem to be able to put that puck in the net, but we'll have to see if Sebastian Cossa and the good defensemen like Caden Gooley will be able to keep the defensive play going in these tight tournament matchups. But I'm going to go with the Bulldogs. I think their offense will get them the championship.
All right, you heard it first here from Mr. Thomas Wildman. We're going to be seeing these teams kick off on June 20th, and the tournament will go all the way until June 29th. That is the Memorial Cup panel with Adil Ahmed and Thomas Wildman. Thanks for watching.
And enough, we'll take another quick look at your 7-day forecast. We will be seeing some nice temperatures for the Father's Day weekend coming up. So get ready for 26 tomorrow, seeing a high chance of a thunderstorm there. 23 on Sunday with a mixture of some sun and clouds. So we will see a beautiful Sunday to end off. We'll be continuing that into next week. We're seeing some rain starting off on Monday, but then getting those warm days with 21s on Tuesday and next Wednesday. Seeing 20 next Thursday, and we will be seeing some nice temperatures for next week here in the border city.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that, Shelby, and thank you for joining us for our first hour of Primetime Local News. But stay with us. Our second hour continues next.